Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, with our second topic today. We're discussing the project to produce electricity from wind energy in West Sohag Governorate with a capacity of 3 gigawatts. Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli witnessed the signing ceremony of a document identifying and making land available for the establishment of this project. To shed more light on this, we have the pleasure to have with us over the phone Dr. Karam, Executive Director of Regional Center for Renewable Energy. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Well, sir, how do you see the importance of this this project, which is going to produce electricity from the wind energy in West Sohag?
Well, in fact, this is a sign of the keenness of the Egyptian state to promote investments in renewable energy and the energy transition in general. And also a sign of the competitiveness of the Egyptian market and showcasing that it is attractive for foreign investment. In fact, the agreement for the project is signed between the Egyptian government, represented by the New and Renewable Energy Authority, and a consortium of 3 companies. One of them is Egyptian, one of them is French, and one of them is Japanese. Which means that Egypt is now an attractive hub for investments in renewable energy. And it is part of a very ambitious program to, in fact, move toward more sustainable energy, what we call energy transition now in the recent terminology. Which means that we reduce the reliance on conventional fossil fuel. And in fact, by this, we use it in other more, I would say, valuable in the economic and financial sense. We use it in more productive uses and the fuel. And in fact, reduce also the invoice of importing this fuel from other countries, together with reducing the carbon emissions. And this is part of the overall program that targets 42% renewable electricity by the year 2035 from our energy mix.
Yes. So, Doctor, it is expected to provide this new wind farm to provide clean and sustainable energy for about 2 million Egyptian homes. So give us an idea about this, please.
Yes, in fact, the electricity generation from the 3 gigawatts would feed around 2 million Egyptian homes.
Yes.
This is an average, of course, because the wind is changing all the time, but on average, we would feed not less than 2 million Egyptian houses. And also, it would reduce carbon emission by around 6.5 million tons of CO2 annually. But above that, it is for me one of the most important co-benefits of this project is creating 7,000 job opportunities. 2,000 of this is during the construction as direct jobs, and 5,000 are indirect jobs in transportation, insurance, services, etc. And after the commissioning of the project, after the operation of the project, it will allow for more than 1,000 permanent jobs for the operation and maintenance of the project. Yes. So, if you couple this with what was announced just last month, and we talked about this also in the breakfast show, that Egypt signed with an Emirati firm, Emirati consortium, an agreement for 10 gigawatts. This also translates into similar electricity production, 3-folds of what we speak about today, and also job opportunities, lower emission, lower greenhouse gas emissions, and better life for the Egyptian people. So all of these are important benefits that would reflect positively in the Egyptian economy, in the livelihood of the citizens, and also in the contribution of the Egyptian industry and the Egyptian local content into this project.
Yes. Doctor, also, what is the importance of renewable energy projects to confront all the challenges of climate change and achieve sustainable economic growth?
In fact, renewable energy plays an important role. We spoke about, of course, saving fuel, reducing the fuel consumption, which is a critical issue not only for Egypt but worldwide. But adding to that, renewable energy includes, in fact, a substantial part of the project is locally manufactured. And now we are hearing about when I'm saying locally manufactured, I mean, for example, in the case of wind project that we are discussing today, you have the electrical cables, you have the civil work, you have the transportation, and other parts of the project, which accounts for 20 to 30%. And this adds to the local value here in Egypt. Another part of this that the Egyptian companies engaged in that are leading companies in the market. And these companies now are qualified, in fact, also to lead projects in Africa and in the region outside Egypt, because you are giving them a size and a portfolio that will prove their track record in installing large-scale projects. So this is another value that another benefit of such direction toward large-scale energy projects. Another important factor, in fact, is proving our commitment, which was Egypt announced during the COP27 in Sharm el-Sheikh, that we are translating the, I would say, the talks, the objectives, the strategic documents into concrete implementation of projects on the ground. And noting that this is a private sector project, this means that we are also showcasing that the future of the energy sector in Egypt will not only be led by state-owned projects, but will rely heavily on private investment, and that we are, in fact, reducing the risk for investment, not just by adopting laws, but also in collaborating with investors, consortiums that are applying for this project, collaborating with them through, for example, in the case that we are now discussing, allocation of proper land. So vast area of land, around more than 800 square kilometers, are allocated for this project and have been investigated among several sites by the Egyptian government. And now they are having all the permissions that are needed to install wind project. And what is remaining for the investor is to do the technical studies, to start the site resource assessment, and then to start the project financial and technical implementation. I mean, purchasing the equipment, installing, etc., and then have the financial closure of the project.
Yes.
So what we are witnessing here is that translating words into action, walk the talk, as we say, translating the commitments that Egypt announced, the strategic objectives, into project, utility-scale project, with, in fact, not only this project, but other projects over the portfolio that were announced since the COP, are all now having concrete actions on the ground, agreements, implementation. We should not forget now that this is not the first project of the consortium that is signing the agreement. In fact, we gained the confidence of this consortium and other consortiums through several other projects. The Gulf of Zayt project, if you remember, we discussed this, and these are the same consortium have been awarded around 260 megawatts there, and they are working successfully. And Egypt is, in fact, paying the bill for the electricity, purchasing electricity through a partnership agreement from this consortium. So we are committed to fulfill our obligations through BBAs. We are paying on time. We are providing facilitation for the project. We are de-risking the investment, and this encourages them to raise the portfolio from only 200 megawatts to another project of 500 megawatts in the same area, and now to 3,000 megawatts, gigawatts.
Yes, the importance of maximizing the new and renewable energy resources in Egypt to reduce the dependence on fuels and carbon emissions. How do you see this?
Whenever we discuss improving the climate, reducing greenhouse gases, renewable energy is, in fact, is one of the pillars of achieving such a goal of reducing carbon emissions. And when we are discussing renewable energy, we are discussing several aspects. We are discussing, in fact, utility scale projects, similar to what we are discussing today on the agreement on the 3 gigawatts wind project. We are discussing solar energy projects, similar to the Bimban project in Aswan. We are discussing also for projects in decentralized solutions that, for example, feeding electricity to residential sector or to industrial sector or to tourism sector. And we have seen also attempts on that. We are discussing, in fact, multi-stakeholder approach. We are discussing renewable energy penetrating each and every sector, productive, sector in Egypt.
Yes.
And yes.
Yes, I thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your valuable information. Dr. Maged Karam, Executive Director of Regional Center for Renewable Energy. Thank you very much for joining us over the phone, and thank you for your valuable information. Well, with this, my dear viewers, we come to the end of this episode of our program, The Breakfast Show. My name is Amal Mukhtar. Thank you for watching.